Along the lines of running backs, you draft, you probably don't take them in the second or third round because you have some other needs. But free agents, there are some interesting ones, and we know that running backs typically don't break the bank free agent wise. So Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, those are a couple of guys that are. Eckler's 29, Swift's 25. Singletary, if you connect the dots back to Buffalo before he was in Houston, he was a running back for Ken Dorsey. He's 26, and Zach Moss, Colts. They signed Jonathan Taylor. He's 26. So those are guys that are fairly reasonable because no running back breaks the bank in free agency. Do any of those intrigue you?
I mean, I think any of them would be intriguing in their own way, but I do just wonder how feasible it is. I mean, it's such a weird situation right now for the Browns because they have a clear number one back in Nick Chubb as long as his recovery goes according to plan. I do think it's important to remember, no one really knows what Nick Chubb is going to look like when he gets back out onto the football field. This is the second time in his lifetime that he's had reconstructive surgery, major reconstructive surgery on this knee. And he's had just about every ligament replaced in it now. And that's, he did it within like a 2-month span. And it sounds like his rehab is on schedule from everything we know right now. But I think an injury like this, there's just some unknown. So, it's kind of an unknown for any of those free agent prospects as well. Like, is a guy like Austin Eckler or Singletary, for example, really going to want to come in here and be second fiddle potentially to Nick Chubb? Or would they, be open to the idea, kind of like a Kareem Hunt was? I do think Kareem is interesting in that regard. The fact that he has been able to prolong his career the way he has just by willing to do that simple thing and not necessarily have to be the number one back here. And it's worked well. So I think there's an example of it working well here, an example of another strong runner running well with Nick. But I think it's a question of, hey, are any of these guys going to want that possibility of you're going to be the number two back because we have Nick Chubb coming back and he's on schedule and he looks great and all that. I think that's a best case scenario, but it makes it interesting to wonder how that room is going to fill out just given the uncertainty of Nick's recovery and obviously how important he is in this offense.